The Matrix, a groundbreaking science fiction film directed by the Wachowskis, has captivated audiences with its mind-bending plot and philosophical themes. One of the most intriguing ideas that the film explores is the concept of the postmodern subject, a person whose identity is fragmented and constantly in flux due to the influence of technology and media. In this video essay, I will examine how The Matrix reflects and challenges Jean Baudulard's theories of hyperreality and simulacra, with a particular focus on how Neo, the film's protagonist, embodies the postmodern subject. Through an analysis of key scenes and concepts, I will demonstrate how The Matrix provides a compelling commentary on the ways in which technology and media shape our understanding of reality and ourselves. Baudrillard argues that in our media-saturated world, the distinction between reality and representation has become blurred, leading to a state of hyperreality in which simulations and representations have become more real than reality itself. He writes, "The simulacrum is never what hides the truth. It is the truth that hides the fact that there is none. The simulacrum is true." In other words, the media and technology we consume have created a world in which we cannot distinguish between what is real and what is not. Matrix takes this idea to its extreme by depicting a world in which humans are unknowingly living in a simulated reality, created by sentient machines to keep them in a state of subjugation.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Matrix.
The film's protagonist, Neo, is awakened to the truth and must fight against the machines to save humanity. In this way, The Matrix is a clear illustration of Baudulard's theories of hyperreality and simulacra, not to mention Neo being a clear representation of the postmodern subject as he struggles to navigate the hyperreal world and find meaning in a reality that has been constructed for him, an idea I will explore in detail later in my essay. The fact that the directors of The Matrix, the Wachowskis, required their cast to read Baudrillard's simulacra and simulations as a preparatory task is a clear indication of the film's engagement with Baudrillardarian philosophy. As the essay The Matrix Unpacked, a Baudrillardarian interpretation notes, the use of the book as a prop in the film with the main character Neo hiding important information inside it serves as an explicit homage to Baudrillard's work. This demonstrates the film's commitment to exploring the nature of simulation and the constructed nature of reality, as Baudrillard himself does in his writings. This in turn suggests that the film was not simply a product of its time, but rather a conscious attempt to engage with and comment on the cultural and philosophical currents of the era. However, the film also challenges Baudrillard's ideas in several ways. For example, Jean Baudrillard's concept of simulation, as he describes it as the generation by models of a real without origin or reality, implies that simulations are created through models without any original reality or reference point. However, in The Matrix, the simulated reality is not completely detached from reality since it is based on the historical event of the war between humans and machines. Therefore, Baudrillard's concept of simulation is challenged in The Matrix, as the simulated reality is not entirely without an origin or reality. Furthermore, Baudrillard argues that in hyperreality, signs and symbols become detached from their original meanings, leading to a loss of meaning altogether. He writes, "The sign no longer points to anything other than itself." In The Matrix, this loss of meaning is not absolute. The symbols and signs used in the simulation are meaningful to the machines and humans who created them. Despite these challenges to Baudrillard's theories, The Matrix ultimately reinforces his ideas of hyperreality and simulacra. For instance, Baudrillard argues that contemporary society is defined by an endless cycle of desire and consumption, where we desire things not for their utility but for their symbolic value. He suggests that the objects of our desire are often simulations themselves and that our desires are not based on actual needs or wants. Luisa da Silva Souza and Claudia Lorena Fazenska, in their academic article Materialization of the Hyperreal in the Matrix, Intermediality between Baudrillard and Matrix, state that this idea is reflected in the Matrix where the characters are trapped in a simulation that is designed to fulfill their desires. The machines create a perfect world for the humans where they can satisfy their desires and live out their fantasies.
You listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
Baudrillard also argues that we have reached the end of history, where there is no longer any real difference between past and present or between different cultures and societies. He claims that our culture is defined by the constant recycling and reappropriation of past cultural forms, rather than the creation of new ones. This idea is again reflected in The Matrix, where the machines have created a simulation that is based on the past. The characters live in a world that is modeled after the 1990s, complete with payphones and outdated computer technology. The character of Neo in The Matrix can be seen as a representation of the postmodern subject, as described by Baudrillard. In the postmodern era, there is a deep distrust of grand narratives and a heightened awareness of the constructed nature of reality. According to this view, there is no objective truth or reality, only multiple and competing interpretations of reality, which are constructed by language, culture, and power. Baudrillard argues that in the postmodern era, the subject has become fragmented and is unable to access a unified sense of self or reality. Neo's journey of self-discovery and the blurring of reality and simulation in the film reflect this idea. Neo's quest for meaning and identity can be seen as a metaphor for the postmodern subject's search for the same in the world where reality is indistinguishable from simulation. His initial alienation and dissatisfaction with his life are a reflection of the postmodern subject's detachment from traditional sources of identity and meaning.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
All the time.
Neo's realization that he's living in a simulation is an allegory for the postmodern subject's recognition of the constructed nature of reality. The Matrix itself can be seen as a representation of the dominant discourse or ideology that shapes our perceptions of reality. The machines that create the Matrix represent the forces that shape and control our understanding of the world. By recognizing that the Matrix is a simulation, Neo is able to break free from the dominant discourse and construct his own reality, identity, and meaning. Neo's ultimate transformation into the savior figure can be seen as a representation of the postmodern subject's quest for agency and empowerment in a world where traditional sources of authority and control have been destabilized. Baudrillard argues that power has shifted from traditional institutions to simulations and images in the postmodern era. The Matrix shows that technology and media can deceive us and that our understanding of reality is not necessarily rooted in objective truth. Instead, our perceptions and understanding of reality are shaped by the images and signs that surround us. In conclusion, The Matrix is an excellent example of a postmodern film that explores Baudrillard's theories of simulation, hyperreality, and the postmodern subject. Through the character of Neo and the world of The Matrix, the film shows us how reality is something that is constructed and how technology has created a world in which simulations have become more real than reality itself. By examining The Matrix through the lens of Baudrillard's theories, we can gain a deeper understanding of the film's message and its place in the postmodern canon.